If you're over 65, nuts might be either your best friend or your silent enemy. Some of them are loaded with nutrients that protect your heart, brain, and bones, while others quietly chip away at your health, raising your blood sugar, causing digestive distress, or even interfering with medications. Today, we're revealing the top 4 nuts you absolutely should be eating, and the 4 that could be doing you more harm than good. This isn't just about taste. This is about longevity, clarity of mind, and daily comfort. So grab a notepad or at least listen closely, because one of the nuts you're probably snacking on right now might be silently working against you. We'll start with the good news. Let's talk about 4 powerful nuts that can be life changers after 65. Number 1, almonds. These aren't just crunchy little snacks, they're nutritional powerhouses. Just 1 ounce a day can help lower LDL cholesterol, support bone density, and even regulate blood sugar levels. Almonds are packed with magnesium, which plays a critical role in over 300 bodily processes, including nerve function and muscle control, 2 things that decline as we age. They're also rich in vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant that supports skin and cognitive health. And get this, almonds are one of the easiest nuts to digest, especially if you soak them overnight. That softens the outer layer and makes them gentler on older digestive systems. Bonus, they contain prebiotics, which help feed your gut bacteria. A healthy gut isn't just about digestion. It affects your mood, immune function, even your sleep. When eaten raw, unsalted, or soaked, almonds are a smart daily habit for anyone over 65. Next up, walnuts. These are often called the brain nut, and there's good reason. They're rich in omega-3 fatty acids, specifically ALA, which is converted by your body into DHA, a critical fat for brain health. A study from UCLA showed that older adults who eat walnuts regularly had better cognitive performance, better memory retention, and even slower brain aging. And here's something wild. Walnuts literally look like miniature brains. Coincidence? Maybe. But they absolutely deliver brain-supporting benefits. Walnuts are also anti-inflammatory. Inflammation is at the root of most chronic illnesses, arthritis, heart disease, even Alzheimer's. Just a handful a day can help reduce inflammation markers in the blood. And remember, you don't need to eat a lot. Just 5 or 6 halves per day is enough. The flavor's a bit earthy, so if you're not a fan, crush them into yogurt or oatmeal. You'll barely notice them, but your brain sure will. Nut number 3, pistachios. These green gems are a secret weapon for seniors. They're one of the lowest calorie nuts and still pack in tons of protein and fiber. Pistachios are heart healthy, full of potassium, and surprisingly rich in lutein and zeaxanthin, 2 antioxidants that are crucial for eye health, especially to prevent age-related macular degeneration. If you spend a lot of time reading or on your phone, your eyes will thank you for snacking on pistachios. And here's a cool bonus. Shelling pistachios actually slows down how quickly you eat, helping with portion control. Plus, that small extra effort gives your brain a cue. Hey, we're eating something special here. Just make sure you're buying the unsalted kind. The flavored ones often come packed with sodium, which is not your friend if you're managing blood pressure. Our 4th must-eat nut is often overlooked: Brazil nuts. These large, smooth nuts are one of the richest dietary sources of selenium, a mineral that's absolutely vital for thyroid health, immune function, and DNA repair. Seniors are particularly prone to selenium deficiency, which can lead to fatigue, foggy thinking, and a weakened immune system. But, and this is important, Brazil nuts are powerful, so you only need 1 to 2 a day. More than that could be too much, as too much selenium can actually cause health problems. These 4 nuts, almonds, walnuts, pistachios, and Brazil nuts, form a nutritional foundation that can support your health after 65 in ways few other snacks can. But now we need to talk about the darker side, because not all nuts are created equal, and some of the most popular options might be doing silent damage to your body every time you eat them. Let's start with one of the most common, peanuts. Yes, technically a legume, but we all call them nuts, and most people eat them that way. Natural peanut butter might seem like a healthy choice, but there's a catch. Even when it's labeled no salt added, peanuts can still raise blood pressure. Why? Because of the natural sodium content and the way they're processed. And unless they're stored correctly, Peanuts go rancid faster than you think, producing harmful free radicals that can damage your cells in your brain. Peanuts are also commonly dry roasted, which creates a compound called acrylamide. This chemical has been linked to neurodegenerative effects. If you're already concerned about memory loss or cognitive decline, peanuts might be working against you. Even if you haven't noticed symptoms yet, the buildup is slow and silent. Here's a tip. Try switching to one of the 4 nuts we mentioned earlier, just 3 times a week. That simple shift can lower your exposure to acrylamides and give your body a better balance of nutrients. The next nut to avoid might surprise you. Cashews. They've got a buttery texture and a reputation for being healthy, but there's more going on under the shell. Cashews are extremely high in carbohydrates compared to other nuts, about 9 grams per ounce. That means they can spike blood sugar, which is especially risky considering 25% of seniors over 65 have diabetes and another 48% have prediabetes. And because they're so smooth and easy to chew, many seniors eat them in large handfuls, not realizing the blood sugar impact. That creamy shape also makes them a choking risk, especially for anyone with dysphagia or swallowing difficulties, which are far more common than people realize after 65. Cashews are also one of the top aspirated nuts, meaning they can accidentally get into your lungs. Never a good thing. On top of that, cashews are high in oxalates, compounds that bind to calcium in your gut and reduce absorption. If you're already at risk of osteoporosis, that's a major problem. For those prone to kidney stones, the danger goes way up. Now here's something few people talk about. Cashew processing. Raw cashews actually contain urushiol, the same toxic compound found in poison ivy. So they go through a multi-step process just to become edible. In that process, they lose much of their natural nutritional value. And the problem gets worse when they're oil roasted or heavily salted, which is how most people buy them. That adds saturated fats and sodium, which increases blood pressure and places extra strain on your heart. Even worse, cashews contain enzyme inhibitors that interfere with protein digestion. And protein is one thing seniors already struggle to absorb properly. It's a triple hit: less calcium, more sugar spikes, and poorer digestion. All from a nut that's often seen as a healthy snack. Don't be fooled. That creamy texture makes it easy to overconsume, especially when watching TV or eating from a bag. Too many cashews can quietly contribute to weight gain, at a life stage where keeping weight stable gets harder every year. Try this instead. Swap cashews for a few raw almonds or soaked walnuts. You'll satisfy your snack craving, protect your blood sugar, and give your bones and brain a big nutritional boost. You won't miss the cashews once you start feeling the benefits. Next on the avoid list, macadamia nuts. Now don't get me wrong, they taste amazing, but that rich, buttery flavor comes at a cost. Macadamias are the most calorie-dense nut out there. Just 1 ounce, about 10 to 12 nuts, packs over 200 calories, and most of those calories come from fat, around 22 grams per ounce. If you're over 65, chances are your metabolism has slowed. That's normal, but eating high-calorie foods like macadamias can make it incredibly difficult to maintain a healthy weight. And if you've got gallbladder issues, even if you don't know it, macadamias could trigger painful flare-ups. About 15% of seniors have silent gallstones with no symptoms until something sets them off. Macadamia nuts, with their rich fat load, can do just that. Even more concerning, they're one of the nuts highest in saturated fat, around 3 grams per ounce. That can raise LDL cholesterol levels, which many seniors are already battling. There's also a dental risk. Macadamias are hard. If you've got crowns, bridges, or weaker enamel, they can cause cracks, damage, or sensitivity. This is especially problematic after 65, when calcium absorption drops and enamel starts to thin naturally. The last thing anyone wants is an unexpected trip to the dentist, or worse, a cracked molar that costs thousands to fix. And let's be honest, macadamias aren't cheap. That buttery crunch comes with a hefty price tag. So what happens? People often buy cheaper, bulk versions that are rancid or improperly stored, exposing you to oxidized fats and harmful chemicals. Rancid nuts smell off, but many people with declining taste sensitivity don't even notice. The danger slips right past your senses. Most store-bought macadamias are roasted in oil and sprinkled with salt. Two things that add empty calories and spike your blood pressure. And because they taste so good, they're incredibly easy to overeat. One handful turns into two, then three. Before you know it, you've consumed 600 calories of fat, and your body is scrambling to digest it. That puts unnecessary stress on your liver, your digestive system, and your waistline. If you love that rich flavor, try switching to a small portion of pistachios or a Brazil nut with a couple almonds. You'll still get that satisfying taste without the health risks macadamias bring to the table. And now we come to perhaps the most surprising nut to avoid after 65, pine nuts. These little guys seem harmless, especially when sprinkled over salads or blended into pesto, but don't be fooled. Pine nuts can be surprisingly dangerous for older adults. Let's start with the big one, medication interactions. Pine nuts contain natural compounds that may interfere with over 60% of medications commonly prescribed to seniors. That includes statins, blood pressure meds, and antidepressants. The problem? Most people, doctors included, don't think of nuts as a medication risk, so they never mention it. But the compounds in pine nuts can either make your meds less effective or intensify side effects, depending on the drug. And there's something even more bizarre, pine nut syndrome. Some people develop a bitter, metallic taste in their mouth after eating pine nuts. This can last for days, even weeks. For younger folks, it's annoying, but for older adults, it can lead to loss of appetite, reduced nutrient intake, and even unintended weight loss. Taste changes are already common after 65. Pine nuts can make it worse, possibly causing malnutrition in people who are already eating less. In fact, one study found that up to 42% of people who experience pine nut syndrome report a noticeable drop in weight. That's serious, especially when many seniors are trying to maintain strength and muscle mass. And the issue gets worse with age, because as we grow older, our detox pathways and taste receptors don't function the way they used to. So the unpleasant effects of pine nuts stick around longer and hit harder. Let's talk about inflammation. Pine nuts are high in polyunsaturated fats, which are sensitive to light and heat. If they oxidize, which they often do when stored improperly, they can produce pro-inflammatory compounds. That's a nightmare if you already struggle with arthritis or chronic pain, and their small size and slippery texture make them a choking hazard, especially for people with dry mouth, a common side effect of many senior medications. They also contain enzyme inhibitors, just like cashews, which impair protein digestion. That's a major issue for seniors who are already dealing with decreased stomach acid and slower digestion. And because pine nuts are often used in creamy dishes like pesto, they can be overconsumed easily. Just a few tablespoons of pesto could load your system with more fat and calories than you realize, and it happens fast. But there's another hidden risk with pine nuts. Some recent research suggests that certain pine nut varieties may be linked to the acceleration of age-related macular degeneration, which, as you probably know, is the #1 cause of vision loss in older adults. That means your favorite pesto pasta might be doing quiet damage to your eyesight. If you're already using reading glasses, squinting at fine print, or dealing with blurry vision, it's a risk not worth taking. So if you're over 65, pine nuts should go on your caution list. Sure, they're small, sure, they're fancy, but the risks, from drug interactions to nutrient loss to inflammation and even visual degeneration, are very real. You're better off skipping them. There are safer, smarter choices out there. Your health is too valuable to gamble on trendy flavors or fancy toppings. Now, let's shift gears. We've talked about the nuts to avoid, but what about the nuts you absolutely should eat after 65? Because yes, some nuts are not just safe, they're incredibly beneficial for aging bodies. These nuts help protect your heart, brain, joints, digestion, and even your mood. So let's get into the 4 nuts you must eat regularly if you're over 65, starting with number 1, walnuts. Walnuts are a superstar for brain health. They're packed with alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid that's been linked to slower cognitive decline. That's huge. Multiple studies have shown that seniors who eat walnuts regularly perform better on memory and mental processing tests. On top of that, they help reduce inflammation throughout the body, a key concern for older adults dealing with joint pain, stiffness, or chronic illness. Walnuts are also rich in antioxidants, which help protect your cells from oxidative stress, a process that's closely tied to aging and disease. They can even improve your sleep thanks to their natural melatonin content. If you've been tossing and turning at night, try a small handful of walnuts before bed. Just don't eat too many. About 1 ounce or 7 whole walnuts is plenty. They're soft, easy to chew, and rarely cause choking or digestive problems. A perfect nut for seniors. Number 2, let's talk about almonds. These crunchy little powerhouses are fantastic for bone strength, thanks to their high calcium and magnesium content. Seniors often face declining bone density, and almonds provide exactly the minerals you need to fight back. They also support healthy blood sugar levels, which is especially important since nearly 1 in 2 people over 65 have prediabetes or diabetes. Almonds are also good for your skin, heart, and gut. They're loaded with vitamin E, which helps protect cells and improves skin elasticity, keeping you looking and feeling vibrant. They're high in fiber too, which supports digestion and helps prevent constipation, a common issue in older adults. Just be sure to choose unsalted and unroasted almonds for the most health benefits. Raw or lightly soaked almonds are even easier to digest. Third on the must-eat list, pistachios. These are often overlooked, but they're fantastic for older adults. Pistachios contain more potassium than any other nut, which is essential for maintaining healthy blood pressure. They also help reduce LDL cholesterol while increasing HDL, the good kind. Plus, they're rich in lutein and zeaxanthin, which support eye health and help slow macular degeneration. Unlike pine nuts, pistachios protect your vision. And they're fun to eat too. Cracking open pistachios helps with portion control. That built-in shell time slows down your snacking and gives your brain time to realize you're full. Just be sure to pick unsalted versions, since the pre-salted ones can sneak in extra sodium. Eat about a handful a few times a week for steady benefits. Finally, the 4th nut you must add to your weekly routine, Brazil nuts. These large, creamy nuts are incredibly rich in selenium, a trace mineral that's essential for thyroid function, immune health, and even mood regulation. Just 1 or 2 Brazil nuts a day gives you all the selenium you need. No supplement required. And get this, studies show that low selenium levels are linked to increased risk of depression and mental decline in older adults. But remember, don't go overboard. Brazil nuts are powerful, and a little goes a long way. Too many can cause selenium toxicity. Stick with 1 to 2 a day, and you'll support your body's antioxidant defenses, thyroid balance, and brain function all at once. They're also soft and easy to chew, great for aging teeth. So there you have it. If you're over 65, knowing which nuts to embrace and which to avoid can transform your health. Steer clear of cashews, macadamias, pine nuts, and peanuts. Instead, reach for walnuts, almonds, pistachios, and Brazil nuts. The difference these choices make over time is enormous. Small daily decisions lead to massive long-term benefits. Now it's your turn. Have you experienced changes in your health from eating or avoiding certain nuts? Which nut made the biggest difference in your life? Share your story in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone you care about.